What's up, everybody? It is the Playmaker Football Betting Show with me, the Sheffield Shuffler, and Garrett Kerman, the fight analyst. He's not talking about fighting today, although he does that. You should check out his stuff. He does a lot of UFC fighting content. Obviously, you can see the stuff behind him. Loves fighting, loves UFC. Also, big tough guy. Don't mess with him. So, Garrett, what's up, man?
Chilling, bro. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go last night. Was feeling a little bit under the weather, but here we are. We're back. It's Thursday night. There's still money to be made. Last week of the regular season. It's crazy, bro. I'm kind of sad. I'm very kind of sad. We're kind of winding down here. I'm very upset.
I know. It just felt like yesterday. I was in shorts and a t-shirt at Lincoln Financial Field tailgate, chugging beer bongs and doing some other nefarious acts, just
Bro,
being a Philly scumbag.
Bro, that's great. And just now we're here. We're almost at the playoffs coming up. Teams are gearing up for it. I'm stoked to see what's going to happen in the playoffs, but I'm also sad at the same time that football's kind of winding down. We're in the last month of the year, the season. It sucks.
It's our first show of the new year.
I know. Can you believe that? 2023 is upon us.
Yeah, dude. Nothing but blessings for this upcoming year. Gonna absolutely crush it. Playmaker is going to continue to explode.
Absolutely.
The show. Thank you everybody for watching this, for supporting, sharing, commenting, all that stuff. Whether you make fun of us, I don't care. Just thanks for the engagement. It's great. Thank you for the opportunity that we've been getting to do this. It's going to get real fun once we get to playoffs, though. So, obviously, it's the last season here, the last week of the regular season, Garrett. So this gets a little bit tricky, right?
Right.
There's some teams that got a lot to play for. There's some teams that got nothing to play for. And then there's some players who have incentives. That's really important here. So when you're looking at props this weekend, guys, it's incentive week. There are players who are given an absorbent amount of money for hitting milestones. So you got to pay attention to that. Obviously, teams, quarterbacks who know this, their players, wide receivers, tight ends, they know what they need to get this money. So keep that in mind, too. I'll be playing a lot of those incentive players.
Yeah, I saw your post about it. That makes a shit ton of sense here, especially like you said, last game of the season, they're looking to get as much money as they can before heading into the playoffs or going on vacation after this if they're not making the playoffs, which a lot of teams aren't. But yeah, man, that's where I think a lot of people can make their money the last week of the season. It's a little tough betting these betting lines when teams are playing for something and other teams aren't. So it's a little tough betting these spreads, but those player props look a little juicy. Juicy.
The nice thing was the biggest win this week for me was when I wrote the newsletter for Playmaker Betting newsletter. If you're not signed up, make sure you sign up for that. You'll get basically it's a breakdown of this podcast in written form. So if you want to just get the cliff notes, it's like a real easy read while you're on the crapper in the morning, whatever. Got my bet in early for Vikings -5 before they announced Peterman was going to play instead of Justin Fields. So got a couple extra points there, which was very nice. But yeah, Garrett, why don't we get into it? What do you say?
Let's do it, bro. I'm ready for it.
All right. I'm going to kick us off here. Okay.
Let's do it.
So guys, let's build up the bankroll here for this last week of the regular season. Again, make sure you're paying attention to everything that's going on here as far as teams are concerned. But for my first play, I am looking at Raiders plus 8.5. Okay. So divisional home dog in week 18, please. So we talk about there's things like system plays, right? Kirk Cousins after 4:00, system play. Divisional home dogs, system play. So when you want a divisional home dog, most of the time, a lot of the time, it's going to be a lot closer than you would think. So when the Raiders are spotted 7.5 points this season, they're covering at 93%. So I looked at this, a lot of times we do this with the Broncos. The Broncos unders have hit, a high percentage. So again, with this one, Raiders 7.5 points, over 93%, 15 out of 16 games. Jarrett Stidham, dude. He showed some guts last week, right? He almost led the Raiders to an upset over the 49ers. Dude threw for 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, 108 passer rating. So I like him. I like him a lot. No other team in football gives up more passing touchdowns or has a worse red zone percentage than the Chiefs. Nice little nugget there. I also love teasing this Raiders spot to plus 15. If you like that with another team, I'll mention another team later. But great teaser spot. The chances that the Raiders get blown out by over 15 points, highly unlikely. But I do like them right here, plus 8.5 Raiders against the spread.
Bro, I'm right there with you. I'm taking the Raiders as well at plus 8.5. Surprisingly, the juggernaut that the Chiefs are, they're a great team. They just don't do well covering the spread. I think they're 5-10-2 covering the spread.
They're not good at covering the spread. I think we talked about it last week. I think they were 1-4 in their last 5 games from last week,
which is insane considering how good they really are. They're just not a team that covers the spread, even against bad teams. You saw against the Broncos. The Broncos give them hell games both times this year. Both times it was a nail biter. Everybody's like, what the fuck? And like we saw with Jarrett Stidham against the 49ers, which is basically one of the top defenses in the league, he lit their shit up. Like you said, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. The dude looked like he should be there. You know how crazy that is? He looked better than Derek Carr. I don't know what it was or what happened, but the dude balled out. He got his opportunity. He balled out. He showed why he arguably should be a starting quarterback in the league. We'll see if that stands true here against the Kansas City Chiefs. But ultimately, it's hard to not take the points here. I like them over a touchdown. I think they should be able to cover the spread. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, back and forth, much like the 49ers going punch for punch, much like the Chiefs going to punch for punch with majority of the teams that they've been going against as of late. So yeah, give me the Raiders with the points here. I think it's a no-brainer.
Also, Josh Jacobs' last game to put on a show because obviously he's not going to be back with the Raiders next season. So for him to have another opportunity to say, yo, who wants me? Because I'm going to be available after Saturday. So I like it.
Makes sense. I like it.
Garrett, where do we get all of our odds from, bro?
I think it's a place that's called PointsBet.
There it is. PointsBet. Let's get this Raiders off the screen. PointsBet, guys. Again, our favorite book. It gives you so many free bets. They give out power hours, free same game parlays. It's awesome. So all you got to do, scan that QR code right there. Very simple. You are going to be registered to get up to $2,000 in free bets. You can use Playmaker as the password or whatever the option is there. But it's really easy. PointsBet, the best sports book in the market. Very good lines as well. Typical lines that are 110, you're getting them at 107 a lot of the time. So PointsBet, use it.
Yes, one of the best books out there. And like we stated in the past, they help you out. We've seen the Kyler Murray incident. You talk to them, they help you out. They even do things where you'll give them a prop and they'll give you a line for it. It's one of the best books out there. Go over there and sign up now.
Beautiful. Let's move on to our next one. Right here. This was the game I mentioned earlier. I got this one at -5 because I wrote the article on Wednesday before the Peterman announcement was made that Justin Fields will not be playing. I think he was also up for most rushing yards by a quarterback in a season. Does that sound correct?
I think so.
So he will not be getting that because he will not be playing this game. But
fucked up, man. Fucked up.
Is what it is. Chicago 0-5 in their last 5 games. They're only averaging just over 14 points per game. I think this is a great buy low spot for the Vikings here. They are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games, so they haven't been covering. Chicago, very one-dimensional team. They run the ball very effectively, right? On the contrary, they also can't stop the run, okay? They rank 31st in rushing yards against. No other team in the NFL has more rushing touchdowns scored on them, okay? Minnesota, 4-1 against Chicago in their last 5. With an average scoreline, so when the Vikings play the Bears their last 5 times, 24-18, with a total of 43 points in their last 5 games, okay? Props weren't out when I looked at it, but if you're looking for props for this game, Dalvin Cook, rushing total over, anytime touchdown from him as well. Bears cannot stop the run. Look for Dalvin Cook to have a day against this front with the Bears. And then I got him at -5. I think it's at what? -7?
7.5. -7.5.
-7.5. And I'd still lay it. I got it at the 5. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to play it again. But at the 7.5, I could probably still play it too.
And what's going for you is that it's a 1:00 game. It's Kirk Cousins, and it's a 1:00 game. It's not a 4:00. It's not a primetime game. It is 1:00. So we know Kirk Cousins is going to come and play some ball at 1:00. So I think this is a good rebound spot for them after shitting the bed against the Packers, like I knew they would. I mean, it was almost a gimme. It's kind of guaranteed, and I know my Vikings. I knew they were losing that game. I was on the Packers last week, which sucks, but it is what it is. I gotta take money that's given to me. So, but yeah, I think this is a good rebound spot for them against a Bears team that's looking to get the number 1 seed. The number 1 pick in the draft too. Houston wins, they lose, they get the number 1 pick. I think it's a win-win for them to lose.
Yeah. Exactly. They also aren't historically very good in the draft. But I mean, but besides take away Justin Fields over the last, year or two or whatever, but historically they haven't been very good. So whether they have the 1-2 pick, I don't think it really matters. But yes, that's where we're going on this game.
Yes. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take the Panthers Saints over 42 points. I know that's a little dicey here, okay? Because Saints are a team that is very low scoring. They play good defense, especially over the last couple of games. But the Panthers, they've been showing out as of late. Sam Darnold coming back, and the dude's lighting it up. He's played very, very well. He's somebody that probably it looked like the Panthers could have been a playoff contention type of team if Sam Darnold was the guy from the beginning. He's showing a lot of promise, and they're looking ahead to the next season that Darnold can possibly still be their guy. And then the Saints, I feel like they should be able to put up some points here at home. They're coming off 3 straight wins. They've been looking really good as of late as well. The Panthers have been going over the total. They're 4-2 as in a road underdog on the over. I think these two teams should be able to put up some points. Panthers don't have great defense. They've been giving up a shit ton of points as of late. I'm expecting the Saints to be able to go in there, go home, put up some points against the Panthers, and Sam Darnold, does what he does and puts up some points as well in the dome. He doesn't have to worry about any type of, interference with the weather and that. So I'm thinking it's going to be a good old-fashioned shootout, maybe, a 30-24 win for the Saints or, something along those lines. But I think they should definitely hit over 42 points, especially the Panthers have hit over 42 points in 4 of their last 5 games. So I think I'm going to take that over here.
Nice. Yeah, the only thing I would be concerned would be the Saints offense.
Right.
They're scoring 14. They're just scoring over 14 points in the last 5 games. In the regular season, it's they're just over 20, but that's really regressed over the last 5 games. So just looking at 2 touchdowns there. But
yeah,
like you mentioned, the Panthers are 26 points over the last 5 games as well.
Yeah, and we know the Panthers defense, I mean, they've done well in the beginning of games, but as the games progress and go deeper into the third or fourth quarter, they're a terrible second half team. They gave up a shit ton of points in the second half, and I'm expecting more of the same. I think a good combination of the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, and Taysom Hill will be able to get over that total for us.
I love a good Red Rocket, dude. Tell me about it. Garrett, people are always asking us, guys, where do you get all this information from? How are you guys so intelligent? You study this stuff. It's real simple, guys. FTN, and you're going to get a 3 free day trial if you go to ftnbets.com/free. It's a free 3-day trial. They're going to give you statistics, information for you to make your own evaluations on these teams for your best bets, all that good stuff. So if you're looking for information, look at FTN, ftnbets.com/free. Go ahead and scan that QR code. Again, we make it real simple for you. Scan the QR code. It'll bring you there. Make it nice and easy.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, all that good stuff.
All right. Last one I have. Lions versus Packers. Let's bring this up. Lions versus Packers. I like Lions plus 4.5. I locked that in on Wednesday. It's at plus 5 right now. Kind of, very similar, same thing. When the Lions are spotted 4.5 points, and I love looking at this stuff because it's important to me. When the Lions are spotted 4.5 points, they're covering over 81% of the time. 81.3% of the time. That's 13 out of 16 games. Also, another tease spot that I love. So if you want to tease this with the Raiders, great T spot. You could tease them up to 11, 11 and a half, whatever it is. With the Raiders, I really like that T spot. Lions, third best team at covering the spread this season. The Bengals, the Giants, and the Lions. Top 3 teams in football covering the spread. So why won't I take them again in the last week where it means something? They're fighting for a playoff spot here, right? I know it's in Lambeau. I don't really care. Detroit, 11-4 against the spread this season. 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. 4-3 against the spread when they're away. 2, not good defenses, very capable offenses. This should be a high-scoring game. You could almost go with the total. Total is almost at 50. I don't really want to touch that. It's a lot of points, but I will take one of the best covering teams in football here in the Lions. For my props, I'll bring that up when we talk about PrizePicks, but this backfield for the Lions, guys, just take your pick. Swift or Williams, especially the total being this high. The Lions have the 4th most rushing TDs this season. So take your pick there. One of those guys is going to find the end zone.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think that's a good spot. +5. You're getting 5 points. You're beating the 3 swing and you're beating the 4 swing there. So I think that's good. And the Lions are capable of outright beating the Packers in this spot. They've been on fire as of late, and I would not be surprised if they even cash in as just a +190 underdog too.
I would love that, dude. I would love for the Lions to beat the Packers at home to end their season, to say, sorry, you fought so hard, Aaron Rodgers, after going, 4-8, and they struggled, and they were thinking about starting Jordan Love and blah, 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 and they came back, and they keep winning, all the way to get to the precipice, almost going to the postseason, and then Dan Campbell and the Lions just shit on their parade. Love to see it. I'm hoping that happens.
That'd be great. And plus, the Lions are definitely a way more exciting team to watch than the Packers. Yes. Point blank. If you want to watch either one of these 2 teams in the playoffs, it's definitely the Lions, not the Packers. Packers are extremely stagnant, very unexciting to watch, and Lions are just overpowered. And I love watching them play, especially on the turf. So,
Garrett, we have breaking news for the first time here on the podcast. NFL announces that Week 17 Bills-Bengals will not be resumed and has been canceled.
Oh, shit.
So that game will not be played. The implications for that are monstrous. First off, obviously, the health of Damar Hamlin, the most important thing, obviously. He's made a lot of strides to recovering. It's been covered on social media and the news and stuff, which is great to see. Very happy that he's making strides towards being back to operating on his own. So that's always the most important thing. On the other hand, too, as well, fantasy implications. And I'm not putting this in the same realm.
Right.
But they are important, though. Okay, I'm in the championship here, right? And it's a 2-week period. So I had Stephon Diggs going. He had 4 points in the first quarter since they've been playing. So now I don't have any points from Stephon Diggs. And I was down 16 points. He was averaging projected 16 points. So it doesn't look like I will be getting any of those. So that really chaps my butt, if I'm being honest. So I don't know how that's going to be handled if I just have to take the L. But I do have another full week. Jalen Hurts is back. So fantasy implications, I know it's not the most important thing, but I'm trying to get my first championship, dude. I want it. I've worked hard this season. Okay.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. And that's like, this is arguably the first time we've in fantasy football that's ever happened, that a game in championship time that's been called off. I mean, this is it's crazy because it happened to obviously in my league, and they're just going by projected points to see who wins that way. Because that's the only way, because that was the last week. Last week was the last week. So there's nothing else after this. So it's just now they're going by projected points to see who gets to win and who's the champion. That's just rough. That is really rough. So I got to talk to the league here. I got to talk to James. He's the commissioner of our league. I'm in the championship with Devin. I would take that. I'd take if he was projected 16 points. Give me the 16 points. I've also seen another way that leagues have been doing this, and I think it's very interesting. They simulated a game in Madden, and they took the points from the Madden game and applied it to their fantasy league,
which I think is also fair. So if we could do that in our league, I would appreciate it. Either take the
That's
projected
cool.
points at 16 or do a simulation in Madden. I think that would be cool as well.
That's actually a pretty dope way of doing things. I think
Yeah.
that's unique. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I mean, anything is better than just taking a goose egg, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but what's going to happen with the Bills and the Bengals now, as far as like seeding goes? Like, how fucked up is it going to be for either one of those teams going into the playoffs that they're not getting a dub on their record, from that matchup?
So, and I could be totally wrong, but from what I've seen on TV, they're going to go by winning percentage. And does that mean, I think I saw that the Bengals would win the division then and not the Chiefs, like because they beat them twice. So I'm not sure if that is correct, but that is some stuff that I saw. They're going to look at winning percentage, which would make the Bengals win the division. So that could be wrong. I'm not saying that's fact, but it's just stuff that I've heard.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now going by win percentage can over, overall record and in the division, and that's crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. It's crazy world. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's all about Damar and his health more than the fucking league and the playoffs and anything of the sort. And like you said, it's great to see that he opened his eyes. He was able to write down something, and he's showing a lot of progression. I've been, looking at the reports every single day to see, he's making some progression, because we want to see that. Even, every fan wants to see him get better. It was the craziest incident I've ever seen in any sport. And I watch UFC religiously. I watch UFC, and I've never seen that happen ever.
Bro, he's got the quote of the year. The first thing he asked, did we win? Did you see that?
Yeah, that was eerie.
When he was able to, when he said with writing or typing, however he was able to communicate, his first thing was, did we win? And it's just like, bro, that's a baller, dude. He's first thing he's concerned. Yo, did we win? Crazy, dude. Quote of the year for sure. And it's only January 5th.
Bro, and he's like, fuck me. I don't care about me. I just want to know, did we win? Did we get that dub? And that's great.
Yeah.
That's like you said, that's a baller right there, bro.
Yeah, big football guy. Like I had PrizePicks. Guys, PrizePicks. If it's available in your state, please use it. Again, another QR code right there. They're doing 100% deposit match up to $100. You put in $100, they'll give you $100 in free entries. Sorry. So they do more than, less than, player props, things like that. So the ones that we mentioned earlier, our card, like I mentioned, I am going to take Dalvin Cook, take his over in rushing or anytime touchdown, and then DeAndre Swift or Jamal Williams. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift just for the fact that his upside with receiving as well, and Bears obviously not good at stopping the run. Jamal Williams getting a lot of looks in the red zone, has been the whole season, but they have been putting Swift in there as well. And there's a vulture, dude, a vulture on the Lions. What's the dude's name? He's like number 41. I couldn't even, what's his last name?
You talk about Craig Reynolds? Is that who?
No.
I don't know.
Hold on. Dude, this guy vultures stuff, and it pisses me off. Every time I see he's like 41, and then I'm like, who is this guy? And why is he in there? Justin Jackson.
Oh, Justin Jackson. Yep.
Bro,
right.
This guy peeves me off. They'll be driving down the field. DeAndre Swift making catches, Jamal Williams running up the middle, and I see Justin Jackson. I'm like, why is he in there? So he's a vulture. And be careful for him.
Yeah. All right. As far as who I'm taking for my PrizePick entries, I'm looking at Zay Jones more than 52.5 receiving yards. Like you mentioned, the incentive. I like it, and especially considering it's a pass funnel defense, right? Titans great against the run, terrible against the pass. I'm expecting Zay Jones to get back on track. He hasn't hit that mark in his last two. That's why it's as low as it is. I think we're getting good value at 52.5 receiving yards there. He should be able to get over that mark fairly easily. The Titans' pass defense is second worst in the league, next to the Vikings, of course. So yeah, I think they go out there and they really put it on the Titans. They have to show that they're battle tested for the playoffs, and I think they're going to do that. And I think Zay Jones should be able to get over that mark fairly easily.
Titans ranked 28th in DVOA pass defense. So like you mentioned, not very good at the pass. And also Zay Jones is the receiver on their team that takes the top off, right? He's slotted on the outside. He's the one that's getting go balls, all that kind of stuff. So that 50, that's one or two catches. I mean, honestly, we've seen that game that he had, what was it, 2 weeks ago, where he had 3 touchdowns and he had over 100 yards. So it doesn't take that many passes for him because of the routes that he's running.
Absolutely. I think it's a no-brainer, really. That's a really good line. Like I said, they're getting good value because he stayed under that total, like very, very bad in the last 2. The 3 weeks ago is where he had the blow-up game, the 100 yards, the 3 touchdowns. That's why it's as low as it is against an extremely bad pass defense, and they're home, and they're a 6.5-point favorite. He should get over that mark for sure. And my last prize pick entry, I'm going to take Jerick McKinnon more than 32.5 for receiving yards. That dude has been balling. Yeah. He's hit that mark in 4 of his last 5 games. He's been a big part of the offense now, especially in the passing game. He is the passing down back. I expect a lot of points, and I know the Chiefs are going to be trying to put up a lot of points, so I know McKinnon's going to be fairly involved a lot in this offense against the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to really contain him much. He's going to get a ton of catches in the flat, out of the backfield. They're probably going to line him up wide in the slot as well. They move him around the formation very well. And, he's very shifty. He's hard to tackle as well. He's very elusive. So I think he should be able to, to definitely get over that mark. I mean, 32.5 is fairly easy for a guy like Jerick McKinnon, who's a pass catching specialist.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that too. And then obviously, in that Chiefs offense, man, I mean, anything's possible. Like you said, that's 1-2 receptions. So very good. I like that. Those are our prize pick entries, guys. Please be careful when you're placing your wagers this weekend. Make sure you know the teams, the situations, the player incentives, all that good stuff. Right on time again, 27 minutes. We keep it under a half hour, so you get this information. You get in, get out. We know you got stuff going on. So, Garrett, first show of the new year, bro.
Bro, I love it. I love to be back. I love that it's 2023, new money to be made, new year, new us. New money. We're looking good, man. Playoffs coming up, and man, I'm ready. I'm ready to cash in because now it's crunch time. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crunch time now.
So we'll build that bankroll after this week, and then we'll be into the playoffs. We will be back. Playoffs is going to be a lot of fun, a lot at stake. So a lot of good teams. We're looking forward to it. We will be back. This is obviously Thursday show. Garrett was feeling ill yesterday. So Garrett, I hope you feel better, my man. Told you, chicken noodle soup, orange juice. Yep. It's the OG remedy, dude. Always works.
Had both of those today.
Good.
Both. Perfect.
Well, guys, we will be back next Wednesday. Back on time, right, Garrett? We'll be back next Wednesday.
Absolutely. Wednesday, 9 p.m. as always.
Beautiful, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.